All right, let's jump straight into this explainer. We're going to unravel the mystery of what seems like an ordinary antique book, but actually holds a terrifying, supernatural secret. We are diving headfirst into a world where quiet, everyday antique collecting violently collides with high-stakes occult rituals. Think about it. What if a book could answer literally any question in the universe, but the price was a human soul? That terrifying premise starts with a guy named Larry. You see, he's at a local garage sale and he picks up an 1886 edition of a book called McConnell's Odd Science Curiosities from a woman named Carla Richards. But as Larry finds out pretty quickly, this isn't just a book. This specific copy acts as a literal oracle. Section 1, Discovery of the Oracle, Uncovering the Rules of the Book. So Larry realizes this isn't just some quirky antique. It's governed by a very strict, almost mechanical ritual. Step 1, you write a single question on a blank piece of paper. Step 2, you open the book right to the middle and slide that note deep against the center spine. And step 3, you wait exactly 4 hours. It's fascinating because this delay implies a process, right? Like there's a gathering of information happening, or maybe even a localized bending of time going on right there inside the pages. And then, exactly 4 hours later, Larry's original note completely vanishes. Gone. In its place, tucked right into that spine, is a piece of faded old yellow paper. The answer to his question is written out in this beautiful cursive, using deep purple ink. The supernatural exchange works flawlessly. But, as Larry and Carla start testing the limits of the book's absolute knowledge, a really dark realization begins to hit them. Section 2. A Prisoner in the Pages, The Horrifying Truth of Mary Richards. Naturally, you have to ask, where are these answers actually coming from? A book doesn't just know things on its own, right? The entity inside clearly has an incredibly broad awareness of the universe. So they decide to just go for it and submit a direct question to the book, trying to uncover the identity of whoever or whatever is providing these miraculous answers. And what comes back completely shocks Carla. The book reveals the name of her very own great-aunt, Mary Richards. Yeah. When Larry asks the book if Mary is in there by choice, the response is just tragic. It literally writes, "No, I am not here willingly." Carla's own great-aunt Mary has been trapped inside the pages of this book for 65 years. She was never meant to be some magical oracle for curious humans. She's a captive soul, basically answering questions out of some forced supernatural compulsion. To understand how Mary got trapped in the first place, we have to look at the pretty brutal mechanics of something called soul transposition. Flashback to August 2nd, 1960. Mary Richards is on her deathbed. Because that specific copy of McConnell's Odd Science Curiosities was in close physical proximity to her at the exact moment she passed away, her soul was transposed straight into it. It operates like a closed supernatural circuit. Mary, going in, instantly pushed the previous occupant's soul out into the ether. Section 3. The Weightman Mansion Seance, a high-stakes rescue mission. Realizing just how horrifying Mary's predicament is, the group organizes a highly complex rescue mission. They set this up at the rural estate of a wealthy occultist named Janet Weightman. Up on the 4th floor in what's known as the Vista Parlor, they hold a 13-person seance, and it's led by a remarkably powerful 95-year-old Russian medium, Madame Tatianna Lupenski. They bait the room with baskets of candy, tobacco, and liquor to draw out spirits. The ultimate goal? Force a soul transfer and free Mary. Things reach an absolute fever pitch when they manage to achieve a highly volatile state known as a possessiado. It's super rare. Basically, it's a double simultaneous possession. Janet Weightman goes completely rigid and starts channeling the spirit of Mary Richards directly. But at the exact same time, another participant, Avery Jacobs, is unexpectedly overtaken by a dark, rogue spirit named Alistair Finch. The psychic energy in that room was literally off the charts. But against all odds, thanks to Tatiana's incredible psychic strength, they pull it off. They successfully force the soul transfer. Mary Richards is finally freed from her 65-year imprisonment and gets to move on to her final rest. And concurrently, that dark spirit, Alistair Finch, is condemned to take her place inside the book. The group ends the night totally exhausted, but triumphant. They pulled off the impossible. Section 4. The Tragic Twist, The Price of Occult Power.
But in the world of the occult, human timing is incredibly fragile. Let's look at the timeline. At 9 p.m., everyone heads to bed celebrating their huge victory. But at 3 a.m., Madame Tatianna's 95-year-old heart simply gives out. She passes away peacefully in her sleep, right there inside the Weightman mansion. Fast forward to 10 a.m. the next morning. As the grieving group gathers for breakfast, a horrifying realization hits Larry. He immediately demands they pull the latest note from the oracle sitting on the table.
The dramatic irony here is absolutely heartbreaking. They pull the note, and it simply reads, Tatianna Lupenski. The very woman who successfully led the charge to free Mary Richards was instantly trapped in the book upon her own death just hours later. The massive triumph of the seance was completely undone by natural causes. Those rules of soul transposition struck again, entirely indiscriminately. Because Tatianna died naturally within physical proximity of the book, her soul was instantly sucked inside. And remember how it's a closed circuit? That meant the evil spirit of Alistair Finch was pushed back out into the ether, letting him escape while trapping the beloved 95-year-old medium in his place. Reeling from the loss and desperate for answers, the group scrambles to organize a second seance that very night. This time it's led by Adrian Russell, an experienced medium who actually trained under Tatianna. The goal now is to reach out, comfort Tatianna's newly trapped soul, and verify her identity by asking highly specific details about her life in 1930s Moscow. Once again, Janet Weightman acts as the vessel, and Tatianna's spirit successfully comes through. But during the questioning, Tatianna delivers a message that completely pulls the rug out from under everyone. Adrian asks her what it's like being confined in the book sitting right there on their seance table. Her spirit's reply is chilling. She says, I am not in the McConnell's Odd Science Curiosities book. That is on the table. It turns out the antique book sitting on their table is a decoy. Tatianna clarifies that she is in the version of the book that was stolen. While the whole house was distracted by the first seance and then Tatianna's sudden death, an intruder actually swapped the real supernatural artifact with a totally worthless copy. The real book, the one actually holding Tatianna's soul, is out in the wind. Section 5. The Missing Oracle. The hunt begins. Larry realizes they've been totally played. Using a hidden tacking device he had smartly slipped into the spine earlier, he manages to track the true book down, launching a daring daytime retrieval operation to get the artifact back. But it leaves us with a genuinely terrifying realization about the vulnerability of a captive soul. Whoever holds that stolen book doesn't just have a rare antique. They are holding the actual spiritual essence of Madame Tatianna Lupenski, who is forced by supernatural law to answer anything they ask. So you have to wonder, what dark forces are trying to exploit this absolute knowledge right now? And what happens when humanity's deepest secrets are unlocked at the cost of human souls?